Right, welcome to this Codex review here for Grey Knights. So, brand new Codex now. Games Workshop starting to release Codexes in the place of indexes here. You can see my hand here has gold spray all over it and dark grey. I'm not going to give anything away, but I've been spraying up and painting some new miniatures for one of the factions. So, Grey Knights, I've got mine from gamingfigures.com. You can check them out. They do Games Workshop, but at a discounted rate, and then they do loads of other gaming systems as well, so you can check them out. That's gamingfigures.com. This is where I've got my new Codex from. So it's interesting they came out of Grey Knights so early. I have to say, the very strong theme for Grey Knights, and also the miniatures, in my opinion, are absolutely fantastic. I almost got around to collecting them in 7th, and then obviously everything's changed. I still would like to collect them at some point. Maybe start taking them as a small allied detachment first, or paint up 1 or 2 units. Grey Knights are a great army to do that with. If you already have an army, especially an Imperial army like Space Marine, especially Imperial Guard, perhaps something like that, then you could take a very small detachment of Grey Knights. They look fantastic just mixing in amongst your troops. You don't have to go for the full-sized army. So I'm sure some of you watching will be coming at Grey Knights from that angle, just perhaps interested in taking a couple of units, or there'll be those that take the full 2,000 points, which I would like to do one day, because the miniatures I think are absolutely fantastic. So in this video I'm going to go through all of the units and stats and combinations, talk a bit about tactics. I'm going to emphasise tactics now with the Codex reviews, what units I choose, which ones I don't think are so strong, and then possible sort of army ideas that you could go for with these. So that's the plan here. So artwork, we'll just take a look at it's quite a small codex, this one, quite thin. It'll be one of the smaller codexes that Games Workshop produce. And again, always it seems on these inside covers you get a nice palette of artwork here. So like a turquoisey blue silver coming through. You can see it in the sword and on these wings just here, sort of a burnished gold kind of look. Then you've got the parchment paper, the red purity seals, and then the glowing blue here for the eyes. It gives you all your nice colours potentially you could use. And I just love all these colours here. I just think they're very nice here for the Grey Knights. Grey Knights, the incorruptible. I could send them in to purge out any heresy amongst James's Imperial Guard. That'd be a good idea. And always have a detachment of these with James's Guardsmen to make sure they stay in line. That could be a good idea. So they are fighting against their classic foe there, Chaos Demons. Nice contrast between the two. The filth and corruption of chaos, and then the purity of the incorruptibles. Just that. So they are, again, this nice colour scheme, the glowing pure light here amongst the darkness. It's building up the kind of theme here for Grey Knights. I do like the heraldry as well, the split white, black and red. Looks really cool, those like sort of shields, many shields and so on. Very nice. Emperor's Gift, the Citadel of Titans. Loads of background, storyline, structure of them all here, different brotherhoods. The banners, that's lovely artwork here. I'm showing you all the different banners for them as well. That's really nice. Very, very nice indeed. Helpful. Eyes all your heraldry. Look at that, excellent. Really, really helpful. Really good stuff. That's where they are in the 40K universe. They seem to feature, you don't miss out here. Nice piece of artwork, and it seems to be in these new codexes you get it featured just here. They are the Emperor's final boon to mankind, an army of unfaltering and incorruptible warriors born of forgotten science. They are the Grey Knights, the only true defence against the demons of chaos. A nice theme for them. This is timeline, I think, here. For them, it's a bit about the different characters now. So you've got Drago, Grandmaster Voldus, superb miniature. It's an idea, perhaps, for an HQ, for doing an army. Grandmasters, you can configure your own now, I believe. Chaplains, that's interesting. Didn't know you could get them. A chaplain with a Grey Knight theme. I'm not sure if the miniature's out for that. I don't know about that one. If you know that, leave in the comment section if that's expected to come or if it is available somewhere for an upgrade sprue or something like that. That's really nice. And they're also chaplains now really good. Castellan Crow, Purifier Squads, Brother Captains Stern, Librarians, Apothecaries. Now you can get those in the Terminator kits. Ancients, it's the banner that does come in the kit as well. Brotherhood Champions, it's there with a sword. Imagine that as a nice plastic kit. I don't think it's available at the moment. Terminator Squads, Strike Squads, Interceptor Squads, Purgation Squads, Tech Marines, Transport Vehicles. If I did an army, I'd try and stay away from all of the regular Space Marine stuff. Well, the vehicles do look quite nice sprayed up. Nemesis Dreadnoughts, very iconic Matrix style unit there. It's very, very nice indeed. Dreadnoughts as well, which I think the plastic venerable Dreadnought look nice painted up for them, so maybe an option. Land Raiders, Gunships, the Storm Raven gunship does look very, very nice painted up for Grey Knights. There it is. Oh yeah, it does look really nice. That's a fantastic photograph there. Beautiful miniatures, they really are. All of these really, really nice. Yeah, here he is. Here's Voldus just here. Yeah, he's very nice. Drago's nice, but Voldus is... He's a good one there. Now they are standing defiant just there. There's the psyker as well. There's Brother Captain Stern, a Paladin. See, there's loads of upgrades and so on you can do with these in amongst the kits. They look great. That's the Apothecary. Yeah, they look very nice indeed. Yeah, here's Brother Captain, converted Brother Captain. Ah, you've done the Librarian here. Whoa, look at this. There's the Chaplain. So I've not kept up with these. They look really, really nice. Getting drawn towards Grey Knights here. Okay. There's even a mention of Warhammer TV in here. Interceptors. There's the Land Raider. I have to say, see, it's the heraldry here. Just the Land Raider looks fantastic. Very, very nice. And then the, I guess these are Forge World here, doors and so on. Just that really adds to that. And I have to say, Grey Knights are visually they are fantastic. There's the flyers there, and then the Dreadnought. Band of Heroes. Just giving you an idea of what an army would look like. So you're not expecting hordes in this force. It's going to be elite units, and the Dreadnoughts, so on, a bit of support from other machines, and then Land Raiders, Storm Ravens for sort of transport and firepower. That gives you a kind of idea of scale here. There's that Chaplain again. Does look really nice. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so we're on to the rules now. So, they shall know no fears. The same as Space Marines, you can reroll failed morale tests for this unit. Demon Hunters. If this unit attacks any demons in the fight phase, you can reroll failed wound rolls for those attacks. That's helpful. They're all good. Demon Hunters, I guess most of them are going to have that. Rites of Banishment. When this unit manifests the Smite psychic power, it has a range of 12 rather than 18, and the target suffers only one mortal wound rather than D3. Unless the target is a demon, in which it suffers 3 mortal wounds instead, whether or not the psychic test is 10 or more. Yeah, unless the target is a demon, in which it causes 3 mortal wounds instead of D3. That is deadly. And it's good they've done that, you know, it's meant to match the theme that this is who they're designed to fight against, so 3 mortal wounds instead of D3. So I'm just looking at this picture here. I love all of the heraldry, the banners, all of that specific stuff that's iconic for Grey Knights. And that's why I think, see, they've got him in here. This Dreadnought just matches them perfectly. Just there. So I'm sort of getting a feel for what kind of army I go for. Now the addition of these Brother Captains and Chaplains and so on, it's an even better time to do Grey Knights. Maybe you're a slow painter, perhaps. Maybe you want a small army. Grey Knights are perfect. I'm sure The colour scheme for painting them, it's mostly silver. You could probably paint them up quite quickly and yet still quite effectively. So Dreadnoughts would be pretty good. But then tactically wise, quite a small army, you have to be careful with them. If they get blown away quite quickly, all of a sudden you're in trouble. That can be the danger with them. You've got to strike first and hard, and then they won't take as many casualties. Teleport strike. During deployment you can set up this unit in a teleportarium chamber instead of placing it on the battlefield, so you get your deep strike here. You've got to be over 9 inches away from enemy models. Great. Which is probably how I try and play them. They just turn up and assault the demons. Grey Knights, this is the Warg list, which we'll come back to a bit later. Okay, so here we go. It's Lord Kaldor Drago. I've got grey and gold here. I've not been spraying Grey Knights, it's something else. So it's not them. So Lord Kaldor Drago. So what we have to do is still go to the back here to get your costs, points values here. It's interesting, in the spare space they've put in some background story here. Drago, right, it's 240 points. Ouch, he is a lot. But imagine he's going to be pretty amazing. He comes as an HQ, movement 5, weapon skill and ballistic skill 2+, strength and toughness 4, 7 wounds, 5 attacks, that's great. Remember, you get 2s to hit, leadership 9, and 2 up save. Kaldor Drago is a single model armed with the Titan Sword, a storm shield, a storm bolt, a frag grenades, crack grenades, and psych out grenades. And it's a great thing, these Terminator type units, they carry grenades here for Grey Knights, which is great. Only 1 model per army. So, regular storm bolter, rapid fire 2. The Titan Sword is +4 strength. Oh, he's going to fight at strength 8. It's AP -4, and then it's 3 points of damage. So he'll kill anything. We'll check out the rules at this point for frag and crack grenades, which is just the usual rules for them. Psych out grenade. So it's grenade D3 shots, and at 2s to hit. Strength 2, AP 0, and 1 point damage. Each time I roll a hit of a 6 for this weapon, when targeting a psyker or a demon, the target suffers a mortal wound instead of the normal damage. That's it. Yeah, straightforward. So looking for... It's quite hard to do that, to get 6s. You pick up the odd mortal wound here and there. Not that impressive there with psych out grenades. You're going to use them against psykers and demons. Alright, I suppose that matches the fluff though. It is a psych out grenade, so yeah, that's the target you're going to throw them at. So if you're up against a different type of army with no psykers, no demons, you revert to your frag and crack grenades. So you've got Nation and No Fear, Demon Hunters, right, so banishments. He's on his reroll wounds there for him. Nice. Bane of Evil. When a friendly Grey Knights unit within 6 of Drago makes an attack against a demon, in the fight phase you can reroll damage rolls for that unit. Interesting. Storm Shield, he has a 3+ invuln save. Grandmaster, you've rerolled failed hit rolls for friendly Grey Knights units within 6 of Lord Kaldor Drago. So reroll to hits there for shooting and for combats, for everything. Fantastic. You know, he's a fantastic model. Rules for himself, and then he grants some great benefits as well. So he costs a fair bit in points, but it is rock solid. Warp Emergence. During deployment you can set up Kaldor Drago in the warp. Alright, he lands 9 inches away, okay. He is a psyker. He can attempt to manifest 2 psychic powers in each friendly psychic phase and attempt to deny 2 psychic powers in the enemy psychic phase. He knows Smite and 2 psychic powers from the Sanctic Discipline, which we'll come to no doubt towards the end. So, yeah, on page 101. So great, he's a psyker as well. So he's Lord of Points, he always has been, but he's just as good as he's ever been. Very impressive indeed. That's Drago. Let's have a look at Voldus here. Fascinating to see how good he is. 290, so he's 50 points less. But for that, you're still going to get weapon skill and ballistic skill 2+, strength and toughness 4. You get 1 less wound, 6 wounds, still great. Still get the 5 attacks though, and the 2 up save. He's armed with the Malleus Agrium, and the usual everything else, stun bolter. So it is a melee weapon. It's ×2 strength, so strength 8. It's fine. It's minus AP -3 and 3 points damage. So it's virtually as good as Drago here. Pretty much. Great. Now, he is pretty good here actually. Yeah, just his bubble's not as effective here. Legion of Fear, Demon Hunters, Rites of Banishment, Teleport Strike. He does have the Iron Halo of 4+ invuln save, so he's pretty well protected. Rites of Battle, you can reroll hit rolls of 1 for friendly Grey Knight units within 6. So it's still not too bad, because usually they're going to be hitting on 3+, those units, to shoot and in combat. So rerolling the 1s, you know, you're rerolling half of your failed attempts there, so still not bad. But here, look, Grandmaster Voldus can attempt to manifest 3 psychic powers in each psychic phase. That's amazing. An attempt to deny 3 as well. He knows Smite and 3 psychic powers from Santic. So Voldus is great. Comparing the two, I think he's a bargain here for 190 points. Right, so then you can go for a Grandmaster. This is one that you can configure yourself, I believe. And he starts out... Those previous two include all the war gear, by the way. The next one's the regular units that you configure, that they don't. So the Grandmaster is 160 points, just as he is. He comes with a Nemesis Force Halberd, Stormbolter, and then the rest of the grenades and so on. So the Force Halberd is +1 strength, so it becomes strength 5, so AP -2 and D3 damage. Nowhere near as good as these two. Absolutely nowhere near. Interesting. And that will cost 0. Alright, so he gets it for nothing. Okay, not bad. This model replaces Nemesis Force Halberd with an item from the melee weapons list. Melee weapons. So you can go for a Nemesis Demon Hammer. 13 points on top of that, still quite cheap. And we then have to go and search here for the weaponry. It's here. Nemesis Demon Hammer. ×2 strength, AP -3, 3 points damage. But you do have to take 1 away from your to hit rolls. So that's a slight disadvantage there. You can then go for the Force Halberd. We've covered that. The Force Sword is 0. Strength of the user, it's AP -3 and D3 points of damage. Then you've got Nemesis. I suppose you can go for the Warding Stave. +2 strength, AP -1, D3 points damage. The model armor of this weapon has a 5+ invuln saves made in the fight phase. If it already has an invuln save, add 1 to invuln saves throws that you make for it in the fight phase instead. Cool. That's not bad. And then the other option is the Falchions. 0, don't pay out extra for that. And that's strength of the user, AP -2, D3 points damage. You get an extra attack if you've got 2 of them. Okay, very similar kind of lines as it was previously. So you can configure your own. It's not going to be as good as these, but again you're paying a bit cheaper. Now you do get the usual special rules. You get the Iron Halo. It takes the stave if he's allowed it. It goes up to 3 up save. 3+ invuln. Rites of Battle, you get to reroll 1s. You can attempt to manifest 2 psychic powers and deny 1. No Smite and 1 psychic power. Oh dear. So you can manifest Smite and 1 other. So that forces you, if you go, I'm not going to manifest 2 on the same turn, it has to be Smite and the 1 other power that you have. No, I'd say if you're looking for a sort of a bargain HQ, but getting that balance between one that's decent, Voldus seems the better option here. A Grandmaster and a Nemesis Dreadnought. Interesting way of doing things. I didn't know that option was available before. Grandmaster and Nemesis. Dreadnought. He's 190 points. You've got to add your weaponry on top of that. This is all still HQs are on here. So sort of covering the Nemesis Dreadnought now. I was expecting to cover it later, but we can take a look at it here. Do you know what? I think I'm going to leave this here. Yeah, no, I'm going to leave this. We'll cover the Dreadnought. I think it's only right. We'll cover the Dreadnought when we actually come to the entry. It's basically a Grandmaster inside the Dreadnought, taking all the armaments that's available there. The weapon skill is 2+ for it. Does come with 5 attacks for this particular one. Usual options. Does have a 4+ invuln save. The rights of battles granted for him as well. And then the Dreadnought teleporter, I'm guessing, is usual there. And then he can manifest 2. Attempt to deny 1. It knows smite and 1 other power. So it's just a merging between the Dreadnought and the Grandmaster. Just there. So Castellan Crow is next. So Castellan Crow is a named character. It's 125 points, significantly cheaper than all the others. There he is. Miniature's not bad. Movement 6. Weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 2+, strength and toughness 4, 5 wounds, 5 attacks, still a lot of attacks. Leadership 8 and a 2-up save. He's armed with the Black Blade of Antwier, Stun Bolter, Frag Grenades and so on. So the blade is strength of the user, AP nothing and 1 point of damage. We'll see what comes up here. Right. There's not much here in the stats. We'll see what comes up. Heroic Sacrifice. If Castellan Crow is slain in the fight phase, you can immediately pile in an attack before being removed as a casualty. Okay. Purifying Flame. When Castellan Crow manifests a smite psychic power, it only has a range of 3 inches, but it inflicts D6 mortal wounds instead of D3, whether or not the result of the psychic test is 10 or more. Ouch, so Purifying Flame is nasty for sure. Does have his 4+ invuln save. Master Swordsman. You can re-roll failed hit and wound rolls for Castellan Crow in the fight phase. In addition, each time you make a successful wound roll for Castellan Crow in the fight phase, you can immediately make another attack with the Black Blade of Antwier, although these additional attacks cannot generate any further attacks. So you can just generate tons of attacks, sort of. Oh dear. Other than that, the Black Blade is horrendous. So really, the main danger is his Purifying Flame. But other than that, he's okay. It's just strange, the sword's not that deadly. You can attempt to manifest 2 psychic powers, and attempt to deny 1. And his psychic phase knows smite and 1 psychic power from the Scentic Discipline. Him. I think, for just my opinion, I think for Grey Knights, your HQs need to be pretty rock solid, and you're going to expect them to bring down their foe. You know, you're going to come up against some towering demon somewhere. You don't want a puny HQ. You want some rock solid Drago or Voldus, someone like that that's going to stand up to them or possibly defeat them. They need to dish out a lot of damage. So those higher end HQs I think are worth it. Castellan Crow just seems a bit on the puny side here. Right, we have got Brother Captain Stern here. He's 157 points, includes all the war gear. So he's a fair bit cheaper than Voldus. So usual stat line all the way through, 6 wounds, 4 attacks, that's 1 less attack, it's a shame. 2-up save. He comes with the Nemesis Force Sword and just the usual. Okay, there's AP minus 3, D3 points of damage. So he's quite tame in that respect. We'll see if he gets any special rules here. The Strands of Fate. In each of your turns, you can choose to reroll a single failed hit or wound roll, or a single failed saving throw for Brother Captain Stern. However, if you do so, your opponent can reroll a single failed hit or wound roll, or a single failed saving throw for one of their models in their next turn. Oh great, so that sort of counts as each other out. Brother Captain Stern is a 4+ invuln. When a friendly Grey Knights unit within 6 of any Brother Captains manifests a smite power, double its range. You can easily forget that during the middle of a game. And in Zone of Banishment, Brother Captain Stern manifests the smite power as a range of 6 rather than 18. Additionally, the target unit suffers only 1 mortal wound rather than D3, whether or not psychic test is 10 or more, unless the target is a demon, in which case it's the usual rules, causes 3 mortal wounds. It says, and all demon units within 6 of a captain's turn suffer a mortal wound as well. He can manifest 2 psychic powers and attempt to deny 1. He knows smite and 1 other psychic power. Yeah, no. So, I still think it's worth the extra points to get the higher end HQs. Right, now here's the opportunity to configure your own brother captain, which it's the customised one just there. Looks nice. So, usual stat line, 6 wounds, 4 attacks for him. It's all 2s to hit, which is good. Comes with a Force Halberd as standard. Just see how much it costs. A brother captain. 150 points. God. It's a fair bit. Yep. Just the usual rules and upgrades, all the same. Psychic Locus, when a friendly Grey Knights unit within 6 of any brother captain's manifest smite, double its range. They sort of benefit each other with that. Do get the 4+ invuln, and it can manifest 1 psychic power and attempt to deny 1. Cost 150 points for quite. You could have if you really are fearing coming up against nasty stuff, what you can do instead of leaving your great character on his own, say you do take Drago, you could take a cheaper one of these, just have him as a sidekick nearby, so the 2 of them can get involved in combats, just to help each other out a bit. Would perhaps be a good idea, but 150 points for that. Okay, so here is the librarian. I do like the old lead one that was produced some time ago. Games Workshop have made this one here now, sort of convertible one that you can use for different chapters. God, it's 157 points. Again, for the librarian. And you get 3 attacks with him. 5 wounds, 3 attacks, still keep the 2 up save. We've covered the warding stave, which you're going to get for 3, I believe. 157 points. This gets his 5+ invuln. Comes with Psychic Hood, yeah, bonds to deny the witch tests you take against enemy psychers within 12. He does have access to melee weapons which we've covered, and then he may take a Storm Bolter or an item from the combi weapons list. Combi Flamer, Combi Melter, Combi Plasma. Okay, that's possible. Give you an idea on points cost here. Flamer's 11, Melter's 19, Plasma's 15. I would say, again, just come back to this. You've got Drago Voldus, they can manifest so many psychic powers. You sort of don't need the library. It's almost as if you don't need the librarian. So what I'm thinking at the moment, we haven't come to the others yet. There's still some more HQs to go. You could go 2 medium type HQs. You don't want to spend much more than that because you've got to fill the rest of your army out. You could go for 2 medium HQs, say a librarian and a librarian and a Castellan Crow, something like that. Or you could go for a brilliant HQ and then a lesser sort of sidekick type one, which you may come to a bit later on. That's sort of the idea I think I'd go for. To have a focal point for the army, the main HQ, and then just one acting in support. So you've got that Tech Marine here. Just the usual rules for that, be the same as in the Space Marine Codex review. The Tech Marine will be 91 points. Then you have to pay for your 2 servo arms, bolt gun, plasma cutter, frag and crack grenades. It soon all adds up. He would be helpful if you take, just to run through these here very quickly, the plasma cutter, range 12, assault 1, strength 7, AP -3, 1 point damage. It's going to cause a wound. Supercharger, you could go for 2 wounds, AP -3 and strength 8, but if you're on 1, the bear is slain. Oh dear, that's so risky. Power axe, give him +1 strength, -2. On the AP, just 1 point damage. Servo arm. Each servo arm can be used to make one attack each time this model fights. The model attacks this weapon, you subtract 1 from the hit rolls, so you're going to be hitting on 4s with that. Times 2 strength, AP -2 and 3 points damage. Is a psyker. You can manifest 1 psychic power in each psychic phase and attempt to deny 1. Also no smite. Quite a lot of smite available in this army now. Blessings of the Omnissiah. At the end of your movement phase, this model can repair a single friendly Grey Knight's vehicle within an inch. It's D3 wounds regained. Okay, if you're heavy on vehicles, you might want to go for him. It's not really a cheap HQ. By the time you've added on all your war gear, just to repair a couple of wounds during a game, don't really see much point in going for the take rate. Right, Chaplain. A Grey Knight Chaplain. It's 144 points. So they're expensive. You're paying out for the psychic abilities. This is why everything seems more expensive than regular Space Marines. And this is really a Chaplain in Terminator, I'm guessing here. Yeah, look, save 2+. Yeah. So stats look okay. His weapon skill and ballistic skill 2+. That's good. It does come with 5 wounds. 3 attacks, which is okay. It comes with the Crozius Arcanum, which is +1 strength, AP -1, 2 points damage. So this could be one of the minor HQs to take, although it's still quite expensive. So you do get Litanies of Hate. You can reroll failed hit rolls in the fight phase for friendly Grey Knight units within 6. That's an excellent benefit and bonus. Just there, really do like that bubble of influence there from the Chaplain. If you're elite army, it really amplifies those specialist units that you have. 4+ invuln saves, it's durable enough. And then all friendly Grey Knight units within 6 can use his leadership, which is 9. It's a psyker as well. Manifest 1 psychic power. Attempt to deny 1, no smite, 1 other power. Yep, Chaplain's not bad. And the miniature does look nice. Alright, last HQ here. Brotherhood Champion. I've always liked the idea of, did like it in 7th, or the model in the 7th edition. Brotherhood Champion. He's 113 points. It's movement 6. Or is this the one that comes in regular marine armour? Not sure about this one. Let's have a little look. Brotherhood Champion, just flicking through. That's a Brotherhood Captain. There he is, the Brotherhood Champion. Just there. I'm not keen on the model at all. Okay. Let's just see what you could get here in the fluff. See what the picture looks like. Striker squads, Terminators. See, looks a bit more. That pose and that look is fantastic. That's Brotherhood Champions just there. Not sure if you can upgrade his armour or not. Doesn't look like it. Okay. I don't think I'll bother with the Brotherhood Champion. 113 points. So, movement 6, weapon skill, ballistic skill 2+, strength and toughness 4, 4 wounds, 4 attacks, which is okay, 2 up save. Comes with a Nemesis 4 sword, just there, which we've seen. Strength of the user, AP -3 and D3 points of damage, so it's not that impressive, only striking at strength 4. The usual special rules, heroic sacrifice. If this model is slain in the fight phase, you can immediately pile in an attack before being removed as a casualty. And he's got a 4+ invuln. The perfect warrior. At the start of each fight phase, you must choose a combat stance for this model to adopt for the duration of that phase. Either the sword strike stance or the blade shield stance. If you choose the sword strike stance, add 1 to this model's wound rolls for that phase. And if you choose the blade shield stance, add 1 to his saving throws for that phase. Not that great. This model can attempt to manifest 1 psychic power in each psychic phase and attempt to deny 1 psychic power, and also knows no smite, 1 other power. Alright, so that's all the HQs. Yeah, if you're looking for an HQ of real punch, then as I mentioned, it's going to be Drago or Voldus, I think, are the best 2 options. Yeah, unless I didn't cover the Nemesis. Did I cover it? The Nemesis Demon Hammer is 13. Yeah, I mean that's one way to go about arming one of the units, take the demon hammer, that's going to dish out more damage. That's the 3 points damage. That's that nice reliable damage coming through. AP -3 times 2 strength. The demon hammer's great. It is -1, but if you can give it to one of these that has a 2+ to hit, it's not so bad. A brother captain can take melee weapons, yeah. He starts on 2+ weapon skill, yeah. So brother captain with a demon hammer would be pretty good, yeah. And he comes with his usual 4-up in gun save anyway. He doesn't have to take storm shield. Okay. So we've been thinking about HQs. I'm just trying to think of decent HQs because you know it's going to be a smaller elite army, and you're going to come up. They're the type of army that's going to come up against nasty stuff. So you want to have decent HQs to deal with that kind of thing. So I probably like, out of all of those we've gone through, probably the Chaplain and Voldus, and then they all come with psychic powers anyway, so you're not lacking in that area. So now we're going to go on to troops. If you go to your detachment, you're going to need some troops to bulk them out. So Terminator squads. I have to say, with all the models, I like the Terminators, Paladins, all of those type models. Not so keen on the Marines, the regular, you know, the 3+ save Marines as much. I predominantly have the Grey Knight Terminators. They're my favourite miniatures for the Grey Knights. Just all the heraldry and the designs, the gold and the heraldry and so on. I just love all of that. So it's a lot more stronger themed here for these than the other types of Grey Knights that are available. So Terminator squad. No doubt they're going to be expensive enough. Power 13 here, 5 of them. Yep. So we have an idea of their close combat weaponry. We'll check out their shooting as well. So Terminators, they're 46 points each. God, yeah. That's just to start. But then, well, hang on, it's not that bad. A lot of the weapons are 0 points, so it's not too bad. So a Grey Knight Terminator is movement 5, weapon skill and ballistic skill 3+, strength of toughness 4, 2 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 7 and 2 up save, just the usual. The Justicar, you get the extra attack and leadership for him. The unit contains 1 Justicar and 5 Grey Knights. Terminators, you can take another 5. Each model is armed with Nemesis 4 swords, storm bolter, frame crack grenades, psych grenades. Yep. Don't suppose there's anything special now for the storm bolters. No, used to have like special ammunition and so on. Now, you can go through your melee weapons just there. I would probably just mix and match them up. We've seen them already. Some of them give you more strength, some of them give you more damage, some of them give you more attacks, more on the minus on the AP, that kind of thing. So I'd mix and match them up that way, and you can go for your best combinations. Now it says here, for every 5 models, 1 Grey Knight Terminator may replace his Storm Bolter with an item from the special weapons list. Right, so now we're going to get onto the kind of shooty weapons that you can take. I wonder which ones are good. So there's an Incinerator, a Silencer and a Psycannon. So, the Incinerator here, if this is D6 shots, it's going to be a shame. Let's have a look. The Incinerator, yeah. Range 8, Assault, D6. Strength 6, AP -1, 1 point of damage, auto hits on the target. It's a shame that, I mean, you could roll fantastically well and get a 6, but just as much you could get a 1, and just the output's terrible. So, just not reliable. It's not a reliable weapon unless you filled more than one of them in a unit. For, you know, if you take 2 of them in units, 2d6 shots, that sounds a bit better. If you took a unit of 10. But when they're on their own, extremely unreliable. When they're in mass, they become more deadly when they start to average each other out. So, that will cost 14 points, not too bad. It's strength 6 -1, it's not bad. Now, the next is a Silencer. Okay, interesting weapon. Range 24 for this one. Heavy 6, so very, very reliable indeed. It's only strength 4 though, there's no AP minus, but the damage is D3. Interesting weapon, that one. That will cost 4 points. That's cheap. Cheap. If your emphasis is on melee, then you can take some cheap shooting options. Now, what does it say here? For every 5 models, one Grey Knight replacement may replace a Storm Bolter with an item. Okay, so you can still keep his big combat weapon. Just there. Okay, so that's an option. Yeah, so you can see it here. I was just checking to see the way it works out. This guy here's got his Nemesis sword, and then he's got this, I think it's a silencer there on the other hand, so it looks okay. No, it's not bad. Silencer's alright, it's quite... Yeah, there's the pressures on your opponent. You get your wounds, and if he fails, the D3 damage comes through, so it's an interesting one. Very, very cheap actually to take them. Much better than a Storm Bolter. Yeah, for 4 points. Yeah, hang on a second, look. Alright, so you do have to pay for your Storm Bolters, so... Oh yeah, no, Silencer's fantastic. You have to pay 2 points for your Storm Bolter. If you pay an extra 2 points, you get 6 shots, and then if any damage does go through, it's going to be D3 damage. So the Silencer is an absolute bargain. Yeah, no, he's, and even in this picture, he's armed with one as well. No, so I'll take the Silencer, no problem at all. I don't think I'd bother with the Incinerator. Okay, then the last one is the Psy Cannon. Psy Cannon costs 14 points for this one. And let's have a look here. Psy Cannon, heavy 4, strength 7, AP minus 1, and 1 point damage. So, AP minus 1, just 1 point of damage, higher strength. Yeah, it's okay. I do the damage more against vehicles and so on in combat, I think. I think the hidden gem there is the silencer. Yeah, I like the silencer. I think that's quite cool. Nice, tons of shots from that, and then the damage that does come through is pretty nasty. So that's the shooting weapons. Pretty good. I think the emphasis definitely for the Terminators is combat, so that's how you want to kit them out. So I would, as I mentioned, would go for a mixture. I reckon probably double hammer, squads of 5, or take a big squad of 10, then break them down. It's no problem at all. If you're up against an elite army with something really nasty to deal with, keep them in their squad of 10. Loads of attacks. If there's multiple units to deal with, just combat squad them down. Yeah, you can do combat squads just like regular Marines and Terminators. So that's probably how I'd do it. But I make use of those hammers, I reckon. They're pretty good. The others are okay. The 4 swords fine. I just have a mixture, I reckon. No problem at all. So the usual here, Demon Hunters, Rites of Banishment, Teleport Strike, 5+ invuln save for these. The 2 wounds now, so a little bit of durability in there. You know, Terminators used to be 1 wound, that really helps them out. This unit can attempt to manifest 1 psychic power in each friendly psychic phase. It can attempt to deny 1 as well. It knows Smite, and 1 psychic power from the Sanctic Discipline. When manifests or denying a psychic power, first select one on the unit, measure range, visibility, etc. on this model. If this unit suffers perils of the warp, it suffers D3 mortal wounds as described in the core rules. For units within 6 will only suffer 1 damage if the perils of the warp cause the last model in the manifesting unit to be slain. Right, some extra notes just there. But no, they're your bread and butter core unit there. For the Grey Knights, and very nice models. I've always been a big fan of them. Beautiful. I do like painting metallics, gold, silver. Just really like the results you can get with them. Look very nice. The blades might be a bit tricky, but it might be worth making the effort on them. That nice electrical blue kind of colouring for them, which is a nice contrast to the silver, the gold, and the red. So that's that. This is the last troops unit that you can take. It's a strike squad here. So this is like the Marine equivalent for the Grey Knights, which honestly I'm just not keen on them. There's nowhere near as high impact as the Terminators. But anyway, they'll be cheaper in points for sure. A strike squad. Yeah, 19 points each. If you need to bulk your army out, you can go for them. Use your stat line for a Space Marine. Yep. They come with 4 swords. Cool. And you're going to take it from the same thing, 0. So you're not going to pay any extra for that, that's great. They come with Storm Bolters, they're well equipped for 19 points. Oh, good. No problem with them at all. Because the sword's decent enough. AP -3 and D3 damage. So not bad for a standard weapon, that is pretty good. And then they come with their usual grenades, psychic grenades, and the Storm Bolt, you get loads of shots for that now. 2 shots at 24, and then within 12 inches you can get 4 shots. So a squad of 10. Close range is 40 shots. Not bad, it's a great unit for bulking your army out. Any model may replace its Nemesis force sword with an item from melee weapons, so they've got access to everything as well. See them carrying the halberds there and so on. Every 5 models they may take special weapons, so you can just pretty much the same. So a lot cheaper, 46 points as for the Terminators, 19 for these. Now it's 19 points, you do have to pay for your Storm Bolters, so they're 21 points each. Yes. But look, yeah, this is the thing though. They're 1 attack each. There's no bonus for charging anymore. Squad of 10 charging in with the Justicars, 11 attacks. Yeah, it's just, what is the point? This is the problem. What is the point of paying out for the hammer for one of these regular Marines here who's got 1 attack with it, even a 4+ to hit? It is a waste. Oh no, it is a waste really, no. If I do hammers, I'd put them on them, bury them inside the unit. For these, I'd just stick to the swords, or any of the other 3 stuff. Swords, falchions. Falchions might be a good idea. You know, getting the extra attack pushes them up. The halberds, maybe. I go falchions, maybe, if you're allowed to take those. Double your attacks. Just have a look here. Still AP -2, still D3 damage, and you get the extra attack. And that's maybe a better combination of a mixture of swords and falchions. No problem at all. Big squad of 10. Take a couple of the shooting weapons. Yes, you can. For every 5 models, you can take special weapons. Yep. Combat squads, the usual special rules, and the same rules for psykers as with the Terminators. So that's the 2 troops. I can't really fault these. I don't see there's any particularly weak units here for Grey Knights. They need to have that. You need to be in that situation because you're sort of quite limited with the number of units you can take. So Apothecary now. We're on to Elite section. So he's going to have, yeah, it's just going to be the same rules here as for the Narthekium as with the Blood Angels and with the Space Marines. So if you haven't seen those videos, I'll cover it here. At the end of your movement phases, Apothecary can attempt to heal or revive a single model, which is handy for your characters and so on. Select a friendly Grey Knight's infantry unit within 3 inches. If it contains a wounded model, it immediately regains D3 lost wounds. Brilliant. Even if, like a wounded Terminator, for example, you can heal him. If the chosen unit contains no wounded models, right, so that you have to make sure there's no wounded. You can't just choose to resurrect one. You have to see to the wounded first. But 1 or more of its models has been slain. Roll D6 and a 4+, and again you could use a stratagem to maybe re-roll that. It's returned to the battle with 1 wound remaining. It's fantastic. Actually resurrect one of the models. If Apothecary fails to revive a model in this manner, he can do nothing else the remainder of the turn whilst he recovers the gene seed. That's good. Apothecary is okay. If he's really expensive, may not be worth it. So look, 90 points. Yeah, no, he's not bad. 90 points. Cool, no, he's not bad. Right, well, here, he's movement 5, weapon skill 2+ with this guy. Strength and toughness 4, 5 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 8 and a 2+ save. You know, I would be mightily, he's got the sword here, I'd be mightily tempted to give him the hammer. The Nemesis Demon Hammer. He's got 4 attacks there, he'll be on freeze to hit with it. An excellent supporting unit there. And then have him hang around with your expensive HQ. For your HQ any fights, take some wounds, and just start hitting, just follow him around, give him a bit of support in combat with the hammer, and then you know, smashing into vehicles and stuff, and then heal that character that's you're nearby to as well. And then the model looks great. So here you can have here's the arm with the apothecary equipment on, and then just take this arm, just give him a hammer. I think you could do that. That's what I'd be tempted to go for because of the number of attacks and the weapon skill being so good. The other weapons are fine, but I'd take advantage of those stat lines for the same, you know, 13 points. Pay 13 points to give it to him, or pay 13 points to give it to one attack guy. So, usual rules. Does have his 5+ invuln save. Then I'll pack him just there and psyker and so on. Yeah, I like the idea of the apothecary. For 13 + 90, 103 points. No problem at all. Yeah, fantastic. Yep. I'll be tempted to do that. Brotherhood Ancient, I'd be fascinated to see if this banner is any good. It does look amazing, but we'll see if it's any good here. So, Brotherhood Ancient. 128 points. Quite expensive. He's only 3+ here on weapon skill and ballistic skill, 5 wounds, only 3 attacks. She's just paying for that. Wouldn't give him extra weaponry, just keep him with his Nemesis falchion or sword or whatever you choose to take there, no problem. Let's have a look here. No, sorry, you're stuck with a falchion. That's all you can take. A falchion, right. The usual bonuses. 5+ invuln. Right, the Sacred Banner. Friendly Grey Knight units within 6 can add 1 to their leadership. Oh, useless. In addition, models from Friendly Grey Knight infantry within 6 make 1 additional attack. Ooh. Now that's pretty good. Yep. That's helpful. That soon pays for itself. No, that's not bad. 128 points. But then you're not really going to add much more on top of that. A falchion costs 0. So 128 points. The ability to grant loads of extra attacks. Put all of your Terminators on 3 attacks. Extra onto your characters as well. You know, you could give... he'd get an extra attack on 5 attacks there with the apothecary, with his hammer. Your Chaplain, if you took one. Extra attack for him. Terminators all on 3 attacks each. The Tactica will be on 4 attacks. And then just to go all the way back, just to remind, Voldus 5 attacks becomes 6 attacks. Yeah, probably worth it. Probably would be worth it. So I'm thinking of an army of like strong units of Terminators, well equipped, mixed weapons, a key really good character, and then loads of bonus guys surrounding him. So Banner, Apothecary, and Chaplain. I like the sound of that. The model's really nice. Right, so then Paladins. Here. Cool. Now here's another squad that would benefit from this banner. They've got 3 attacks as standard. They leap to 4 attacks each with that. 3 wounds as well. So these are going to be expensive. Maybe go for unit 5 of them. It's a similar kind of list I'd sort of been thinking about in 7th edition. Just never started the project. But reading this codex has rekindled some interest in it. So Paladins, nice helmets on, they look really nice. So they're 53 points each, which is not much of a hike from 46 for a Terminator. No, they're quite not bad really. And for that you're getting the extra wound, the extra attack. No problem. No problem at all. So, probably go mixed again with them. Any model replace, yeah, it's melee weapons, special weapons, all available there. Yeah, no, that's all fine. 5+ Invan, combat squads, all the usual, and psykers the same. Yeah, so Paladins, great. This is quite, you know, if you keep them tight, and you can pack them tight now because the templates and so on, the blast markers are all gone. So banner may well be worth it. So we talked a lot about infantry. We'll come to it a bit later, see what kind of support vehicles, which they probably would need. A lot of the army here, it's all teleporting in, so it does away with a lot of the need for things like rhinos and razorbacks, drop pods and so on for these Terminators here. So that cuts out the need to buy transports, which have actually got quite expensive now for 8th edition, so you could just focus all your points in on units like this here. Then I'm thinking you want a bit of long range fire support. I reckon Storm Raven would be the way to go. Alright, there's a Paladin Ancient here. Oh, right. Looks fantastic. Beautiful banner. Really nice. So Paladin Ancient, that's another option. Imagine the rules are the same, just a bit more expensive. 140 points as opposed to 128. It's not too much of an increase. For that, the attacks do go up. The weapon skill goes up. Probably go for the Paladin Ancient. I just see it would be worth that. Again, what's he allowed to take here? This model armed with a Storm Bolter. This model may take a Nemesis Falchion or replace its Storm Bolter with an item from the special weapons list. Yeah, well, you're sort of limited what he can take. So, a Falchion. Falchion's not bad. You'd maybe go, if you have spare points, maybe go for him. Doesn't seem to matter too much. Just the banner is the key point, which remains the same. Just there. Yeah, so maybe you'll go for the cheaper Prophet Ancient. Right, so there's other squads here. You can't write off the rest of the squads. So, Purifier squad here. So Purifiers are 26 points each. Expensive enough. The usual stat line for Marine. Knight of the Flame in there. They come with squads of 5. You can take an extra 5. They're armed with Nemesis Force Swords, Storm Bolter, Fragment Crack Grenades, Psych Grenades. Any model may replace swap around for melee weapons, and then for every 5, 2 Purifiers may replace their Nemesis Force Sword and Storm Bolter with an item from the special weapons. Right, so similar. Okay, interesting. So what do they look like? Purifiers, right, that's the white helmet Terminators here. Or not Terminators, the Marines. The white helmets look quite nice. Okay. So the rules for them really is Purifying Flame. When this unit manifests the Smite psychic power, it has a range of 3 inches but inflicts D6 mortal wounds to the D3, whether or not the rest of the psychic test, whether or not the psychic test is 10, more than 10. Pretty nasty. You have to transport them around though. If they're wandering around on foot, wouldn't be too good. You maybe then need a rhino or razorback for them. Don't know. I'd probably go for small squads. Yeah, you don't need to have a bigger squad to make that Purifying Flame smite power go off. It's quite deadly though. Yeah, you can have multiple small squads, each causing D6 mortal wounds. That would cause trouble. Right, so here's the Dreadnought. I would like to configure one of these if I did an army. Configure one. Or maybe just take a Venerable. We'll see the difference between them here. So Dreadnought starts out at 87 points. Obviously paying a bit more than usual because of Psychic. Yeah, it is, yeah. So, usual stat line for a Dreadnought. Movement 6, Weapon Skill, Ballistic Skill 3+. Strength 6, Toughness 7, Wins 8. 4 attacks, Leadership 8 and a free up save. He's armed with Assault Cannon, Storm Bolter and Dreadnought Close Combat Weapon, just the usual loadout. Usual options he can take. Dreadnought Heavy Weapons list. Let's go to start here. Dreadnought heavy weapons, multi-melter, heavy plasma, twin laser cannon. That's the usual Space Marine equipment just there. It can replace its close combat weapon, Stormbolter missile launcher. It can replace a Stormbolter heavy flame. It's exactly the same as a regular Space Marine Dreadnought. Comes with Demon Hunters and Rites of Banishment though, and then Psyker. 1 psychic power, and then attempt to deny 1. It knows Smite and 1 psychic power from the Santic discipline. Alright, Venerable Dreadnought then. Starting 87 for him, and then Venerable 110. And for that 110 you'll get Weapon Skill and Ballistic Skill 2+. It's reliable if you're gonna... I'm sort of thinking, you know, Grey Knights sort of teleporting in with Terminators and characters and so on. And then we're looking for some long range fire support to sort of neutralise heavier targets like main battle tanks and so on. A well equipped Venerable Dreadnought or regular Dreadnought. Go for the let's see here. Dreadnought heavy weapons. Yeah, twin laser cannon. You can do it. Phew, I was wondering you couldn't do it then. Twin laser cannon, 50 points, for 150 points, and then you'd maybe give them, either if you wanted to be mixed, keep the claw, or combat weapon. If you wanted to be totally fire support, then go for the missile launcher, which will cost 25. It's about 175 for the Venerable Dreadnought. You can go for a similar armament just there. Okay, but I like the 2s to hit, especially with twin laser cannon. You should be able to get 2 hits a turn with that. Whereas Dreadnought with 3s to hit, much higher chance of just getting 1 hit. Smoke launchers, unyielding ancient. Roll a d6 each time this model loses a wound. On a 6, the damage is ignored. The wound is not lost. It's helpful. Yeah, not bad at all. Okay. Then we've got servitors here, which you can add on alongside the Tech Marine. For these, they start out really cheap. Yeah, 2 points each, just the same as they are in the Space Marine book. They come with a servo arms. This is why I don't really. They're pretty useless really. I mean, each model's armed with a servo arm. So you then have to pay 12 points on top of your 2 points. That makes them 14 points each. For that you're getting Weapon Skill and Ballistic Skill 5+, Movement 5, Strength Toughness 3, Dreadful Stat Line, 4-up save, and then the servo arm's really good. You get 1 attack, but you have to subtract 1. So Mind Lock, just to come down here, you improve your Weapon Skill Ballistic Skill to 4+, and leadership to 9, as long as they're within 6 of a friendly Grey Knight. Tech Marine. So they become 4+, but then it drops to 5+ again by using the servo arms. They get this 1 attack needing 5+, and they're 14 points each. So I think they're a bit of a waste really. You can give them some heavy weapons, but it's wasted on their terrible ballistic skill. So I think they're really a good idea. Right, the Interceptor squad. Next, I've always liked them. Out of all the squads, I think they're quite cool. And the old rules used to be a shunt across the table. We'll see if that is an option for them. Oh, right, they just get movement here. So they get movement 12. So they're assault marines basically. They start off at 23 points each. They come with their 4 swords, storm bolter, frag grenades, psych out grenades. You take 4 of them, and an extra 5 on top of that. Any model replaces 4 sword with melee weapons as usual. For every 5 you can take special weapons, usual special rules, combat squads, personal teleporters. This unit can move across models and trains if they're not there. That's for their normal movement. In addition, once per battle are the rules here. Instead of moving this unit normally in the movement phase, you can choose for them to make a teleport shunt. At the end of the movement phase, remove all the models in the unit from the battlefield, They immediately set them up anywhere that is more than 9 inches away from enemy models. Okay, so I used to think I could use this to ambush and flame some enemy units, catch them in an ambush. Problem now is the incinerator is 8 inches. You have to set up more than 9. So if you try and ambush, you won't be able to use your incinerators on the turn that you land. So not such a good idea anymore. But helpful to move around the table nice and quick. But again, look, it's got a fun hammer here for the Justica, but it's only on 2 attacks. Even 4s to hit. So, yeah. The hammers are best used on any models that have a 2+ to hit. And lots of attacks is the best way to justify using them. So that's intercept. They're okay if you're looking for something quick to move around the table. They can jump around pretty fast, pretty durable. So not too bad for them, quite well armed. But again, just 1 attack each. So not too, again, maybe go falchions with them if you're allowed to. Okay, so Purgation Squad next. This is like your Devastator equivalent here. Should start off quite low and you pay for your weapons on top. Yeah, 19 points each. So you just go for a squad of 4. You can have 5, so you can go up to unit 10. Usual armaments, usual stats. Any model may replace take melee weapons. Up to 4 Purgators in the unit may replace their Nemesis 4 sword and storm bolted items from the special weapons. Right, so you can really kit them out with a load of stuff. Then they would be more effective if you took the incinerators, stick them inside a Razorback or Rhino. Razorback or Rhino both available. Yeah, stick a squad inside a Razorback, give them all incinerators. Yep, I think would work. Or whatever, you could just go for any of the special weapons really, depending on what you want to use them for. Incinerators you get 46 attacks, that's a bit better. That's not bad. Use them to wipe out some horde units and so on. Mopping up action style with those wouldn't be too bad at all. So, even flame a vehicle and knock off a lot of wounds. Yeah, strength 6, you're gonna cause some wounds, and it's -1 as well. So that's options there. Just check the costing of these. 14 points, you had that on top. Quite expensive. Psy cannon, expensive enough. Silencer's cheap. Okay. So that's them. Yeah, that's a possible option as well. Okay, so Nemesis Dreadnought next. Again, fantastic model. Straight out of the Matrix films. Just great idea. Such an iconic unit here for the Grey Knights. So a Nemesis Dreadnought starts off 130 points. That's not too ridiculous actually. It's not a bad start. For that you get weapon skill 3+, strength and toughness 6, 12 wounds. Plenty of wounds, keeps his 2 up save. You get the damage brackets here. If he's on full strength, he's at 8. Ballistic skill 3+, and then 4 attacks. Okay, so as his damage descends down, it's his ballistic skill that drops each time in his attacks, but the weapon skill always remains at 3+. Right, so some bigger weapons here to check out. So he comes with 2 Dread Fists. I hope these are 0. Nope, they're not. Right, so Dread Fist or 2 Dread Fists is 35. So you've got to add that on top of your cost. So 130 and 35, 165 already. And we're going to push near 200 here with him. The Dread Fists then, it's times 2 strength, so strength of 12, 8 minus 3. Oh no, D3 damage. It's okay, but not... No, not that deadly. Those Dreadfists are not that deadly. If you have 2 of them, you get an extra attack, so 5 attacks, needing freeze. Not really going to smash a vehicle up very well with them. Right. Interesting. So yeah, the Dreadfist not so good. Trying to figure out. It's interesting to see which combination is the possibly the best one now, and looks wise as well. Let's see. So this model may take up to 2 different weapons from the following. Okay, so you keep your shooting. So there's a configuration here. He's got 2 shooting weapons. He'll keep both of those Dreadfists. So, but the Dreadfists aren't that great. I may be thinking 1 combat weapon and 1 decent shooting weapon is how I'd want to use them. So we'll see what's what here. So the first one is a heavy incinerator. Oh no, it's range 12. Heavy D6, it's not reliable. Strength 6, AP -1, 2 points of damage. Sorry, heavy incinerator. It used to be my favourite because it used to be template, so you could control where it went and you could cover 15 models with it, 10 models, 8 models. But here it's just D6 and you could fire a unit of 30 orcs and you could just hit one of them. And it used to fire further. It used to be 12 inches and then place the template on top of that. So the heavy incinerator is severely, it's become terrible. And it's 40 points. No way. Jose, you're going to pay up for that. Alright, so yeah, that's really bad. Heavy 2d6 they should have done for that one, especially at 40 points. Right, next one, the Gatling Silencer. Heavy 12, it's range 24, heavy 12, strength 4, AP 0, but it's D3 damage a time. It's not bad. No, the Gatling Silencer is okay. Yeah, it's not bad, it's alright. That's 20 points, that's a lot cheaper than the incinerator. Okay, you'd be tempted to go for that one. Not bad at all. It's that D3 damage that caused trouble. Seems like a poor weapon firing through, and when those wounds, when those saves are failed on vehicles or monstrous creatures and so on, you suddenly are starting to roll D3 damage. Next one is a heavy psy cannon. 30 points, that's not bad. 30 points is okay. Heavy 6, see that? Just guaranteed you 6 shots every turn. Range 24, strength 7, AP -1, and 2 points damage. That's not bad. That's not bad. Knock a vehicle down a bit with that one. Take out Terminators, things with 2 wounds, monstrous creatures and so on, that's okay. But I think the bargain there is the Gatling Silencer. I'm not expecting it to be deadly with shooting this thing. Just to grind down with the shooting and then to kill in close combat. So this model may replace one of its Dreadfists with a Nemesis Demon Great Hammer or a Nemesis Great Sword. Okay, so you have to pay for one of the fists, which is 25 points. You're probably never going to, if you take the weapon, you're probably not going to use in the combat. Oh dear. So it's sort of wasted points. Yeah, dear. Right, okay. Bit of a pickle here. Let's see how much the Nemesis Demon Hammer is. Nemesis Demon Great Hammer. 15. Alright, so you pay an extra 5 to take the hammer. It will give you the same times 2 strength, but it's AP -4, so it's better, and the damage is D6. Brilliant. When a model attacks this weapon, you must subtract 1 from the hit roll. Damage rolls of less than 3 count as 3 for this weapon. Whoa, she guaranteed 3 damage minimum with that great hammer. That's decent. No, that's fine. No problem at all. It is -1 to hit those, so you'll be on 4s to hit with 4 attacks. Okay. Next is the Great Sword. It's a straight 10. Right, just what you'd pay to take the extra fist. That's fine. I was worried they might have hiked up the points for those extra combat weapons, but they haven't. The Great Sword then is +4 strength, makes you strength 10. You're still going to be on freeze to win pretty much everything. AP -3, which is decent enough, and D6 points damage. I'll probably go for the sword. Probably go for the sword and a silencer, and if I took a second one, a sword and a heavy psy cannon. That's the configuration I'd go for. Maybe for looks, just go for the hammer on one of them. No problem. Okay. So, let's just check something. See if we can help these things out. These are vehicles. Dreadnought infantry. So, can't help them. Just seeing if you can help. Chaplain. Here we go. Chaplain. All friendly Grey Knight units are in 6. Oh, that's their leadership. Litanies of hate. You can reroll failed hit rolls. Friendly Grey Knights units are in 6. Fantastic. Right, so the Chaplain can help him out with his rolls to attack. So bear that in mind. You may not necessarily want him randomly all over the table. If he hangs around with the main strike force near the Chaplain, he'll get helped out a lot, especially if he's carrying the hammer and forced to hit. The rerolls definitely help him out a lot. Okay, so then for transports then, you know how to move these Terminators or whatever units around the table. Land Raider is an option. Not going to go too much into these because I do cover them in the Space Marine Codex review. Like usual, Land Raider is 239, Crusaders 244, Redeemers 244. It's just 16 wounds, 2 up, so it is rock solid and tough. It can take normal grade out infantry, 10 of them, and then Terminators take the space of 2. So you fit a squad of 5 in a regular Land Raider. Should be helpful with the twin las cannons. You remember to talk about providing that long range fire support. Then the Land Raider Crusader is more models, so you get all your HQs and things inside. Up to 8 Terminator models inside that one. For that you get your Hurricane Bolters, Twin Assault Cannon, Melter on top, but decent transport to move up the table. Hosing down hordes and then use your elite stuff inside to smash up the heaviest things. You got the Redeemer, another option there as well with the slightly increased transport. It's 12 models, which would be 6 Terminator models for the Redeemer. Just there. So I won't go too much into depth with those. I covered them in the Space Marine review. But no, they're a rock solid way to transport the models around the table. Okay, and again, this is all Space Marine stuff here. So Razorbacks would work well. You cannot transport Terminators in these. So if you are going to go for the regular Marines, then I would kit them out in transports. Put little purgation squads in the Razorbacks, drive them round ambushing units, and then on top you could go for, yeah, look, you got access to twin heavy bolter, or you can go for twin laser cannon, twin assault cannon. Assault cannons would be helpful. Laser cannons if you need that armor punching ability. It's definitely an option here with these. Not psykers here. Not psykers. Nope. Okay. Rhino. Can't transport Terminators. There's no open hatch anymore. Other great thing, just to mention in this book, as I mentioned in the Marine review, is make use of this. Hunter killer missiles. Cheap upgrade. Storm bolters, cheap upgrade. And the Hunter Killer there as well. It would definitely take them, just to add a bit more firepower as well. So you're looking for, the theme I'm thinking of is assault units all teleporting, landing in, or being transported in with a Land Raider or a Storm Raven, and then some units to lend some kind of fire support, especially las cannon assistance, you know, to break open tanks and transports and so on. So that could come in the form of any of these vehicles really. Land Raiders, Razorbacks could do it, Storm Ravens, but Dreadnoughts. There's something to provide that extra fire support. Got the Stormhawk here, flyer. Again, as in the Marine book, just here it comes with 2 assault cannons, 2 heavy bolters, an Icarus storm cannon, which is heavy 3 strength, 7 AP -1, and 2 damage. You get +1 against those units that fly. No problem at all. You can even take the las cannon, which is quite cool. It's a 2-shot las cannon. Yeah, deadly weapon, that one. It's a Stormhawk, fantastic support there. Well, maybe another combination you could go for. You know, Land Raiders, Storm Raven's quite expensive. So what you could go for is a load of teleporting. All of your assault stuff just teleporting. And then just have some flyers. Provide your heavy weapon support. Another option. A couple of these flying around. Very flexible, can move anywhere you want. Harder to bring down perhaps. And they can just swoop in and fire at targets. A lot of firepower comes from them. Potentially, so that's an option. Storm Raven gunship. I reckon I would paint one for Grey Knights. It just looks really nice. Storm Raven does look really nice. Much tougher, and you've got your transport capacity if you want to. I was thinking maybe you could go for Storm Raven gunship. The transport capacity is. Well, look, you can transport a Dreadnought as well. I've seen that. 12. So that's 6. So you could go for a unit of paladins, 5 of them, and a banner or an HQ of some kind, and just have them swing them in where you need them to go. Could be an option. Yeah, it's just other than that, all the usual rules. There's no psychic ability for that. Comes with airborne, supersonic, nice and quick. It is hard to hit. Got hoverjet. You can hover, just become 20-inch move. You can pivot and move how you want. Perishing Spirit does not suffer penalty to hit rolls moving and firing heavy weapons. Nice and mobile, reliable firepower with that. And again, you know, if you're Grey Knight, Terminators and infantry are all there to dice up enemy infantry and that kind of targets, need something to punch vehicles, then I would go for the twin las cannon, twin multi-melter combination, and the rockets. Let's just see. Storm Strike missiles. No, it's the usual. Storm Strike missiles. Heavy one, strength 8, AP -3, 3 points damage. Yeah, no, fine. So brilliantly equipped. You could equip for taking on vehicles. You got the Storm Tan again. This thing can chuck out a load of support. Yeah, because you've got, say you've got your Terminator units. You've just got sort of Storm Bolters, and you're sort of struggling to deal with hordes and a lot of infantry. A couple of these for hosing down those kind of targets, really helpful. You know, because you don't want your Terminators getting overwhelmed by tons and tons of enemy infantry models. So use those just to hose stuff down. I mean, here look, 12 shots, the twin las cannon, twin assault cannon. Then you've got your, you go heavy bolters, 2 of them, all of a sudden chucking out tons of shots. Yeah. So, pretty good. Okay, that's the Storm Talon available, not 2. Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, look here, strafing run. You can have 1 to hit rolls this model when targeting an enemy in the shooting phase that cannot fly. So again, perfect for the ground targets, mopping up and softening up with that one. And again, looks pretty nice. Painted up in silver. That's actually it. So it really is, it's a Space Marines chapter, so they've got access to all the Space Marine units. Just there. I really focused on the unique units for the Grey Knights. If I did an army, I would focus on them. The last thing I want to do is paint up loads of Space Marine units, just paint them up silver. It's defeat the object really collecting Grey Knights. I try and max out as many unique Grey Knight units as possible and just take sort of some minimal support with some of the Space Marine, regular Space Marine units like these flyers and so on. But there it is. That is the Tactica here and review of those units. There's a amazing setup. There's a Storm Raven unit. Looks nice, swooping across the main battle line as it advances. Right, this is interesting. You get all this bonus stuff now with the new codexes. So, the Hammer of Demons. Brotherhood of Psykers. If your army is battle forged, all Psykers in the Grey Knight's detachments gain this ability. You can add 1 to psychic tests and deny the witch test. Brilliant. Add 1 to psychic tests. So you get super reliable psychic tests taking place. Powerful, that. I'm not sure. Leave your comments if you think the Grey Knights have got more powerful or about the same or worse. I'm not sure. There's no way I don't think they've got worse. Their HQs, some of them are great. Terminators are fine, and then some of the bonuses available from things like Chaplains and Company Ancients or Brotherhood Ancients and so on can just make them utterly deadly. So I can't see any problem with these at all. Knights of Titan. If your army is battle forged, all troops, units and Grey Knights detachments gain this ability. Such a unit that is within range of an objective marker, as specified in the mission, controls that objective even if there are more enemy models within range of that objective marker. This is repeating the rules here for the Space Marines. If an enemy unit within range of the same objective marker has similar ability, the objective marker is controlled. So objective secured is back now, it looks like. It's probably going to be the same in all of the... yeah, they'll probably make it the same in all of the codexes. Okay, so that's your incentive to take troops. Big incentive to take troops. Okay, and units like Grey Knight Terminators, which are troops, are going to be great for grabbing, capturing and holding objectives. There's some great bonuses there. They're fantastic. Can't see any problem with Grey Knights here. Just worry about the size of the army. It would become small if you started buying 2 Land Raiders and so on. If I just didn't go down that route and went for teleporting in, I think you could get a fair enough size. If a Grey Knight's character uses your Warlord, he can generate a Warlord trait from the following table instead of the one in the 40k book. You can either roll or you can choose. So interesting. Here we go. Say you've got a really good HQ. So first one then is Demon Slayer. If your Warlord wounds a demon in the fight phase, your opponent must subtract 1 from any in-run saves made against the attack. Not bad. So you choose that if you knew who you're fighting against. Hammer of Righteousness. You can add 1 to wound rolls for your Warlord in the fight phase if he's successfully charged. Okay, you need to try and remember that one, but it's not bad. It's not bad. It's quite helpful. Say for example, Warlord's got a hammer, you've got 5 attacks, 2s to hit and 3s to hit, so you get 4 hits. You're on 3s to wound a vehicle, all of a sudden you're on 2s. So it's not bad, that one. Unyielding Anvil. Friendly Grey Knight units within 6 of your Warlord automatically pass morale. Oh, that's not that great. It's going to be quite rare. If I'm going for squads of 5 and so on, it's going to be quite rare. They can have to take morale. It's going to cause any trouble. First to the fray, you can reroll failed charge rolls of your Warlord and friendly Grey Knights within 6 of him at the start of the charge phase. That is very helpful, especially if you're teleporting in. It's a good one. Very, very helpful. Nemesis Lord. You can add 1 to the damage characteristic of your Warlord's melee weapons. If your Warlord wields a relic of Titan that is a melee weapon, choose another Warlord trait or reroll the result. That's okay. I like first to the fray here. Yep. And then Lawmaster. The Warlord knows 1 additional psychic power. Okay. Yeah, no, they're not bad. Alright, so what they've done here is listed your named characters like Drago, Voldus and so on, and they have fixed Warlord traits that come from this list. You have to choose the specific one that they're given. That's that. Oh, you get 2 pages of stratagems here. This isn't bad for a smaller faction. So a lot of stratagems here. Yeah, because remember, for Space Marines, there's an extra page. A lot of them are all different chapters. For these are all Grey Knights, obviously, so there's a lot to choose from here. So we'll run through them. Let's try and pick out some good ones. So, tactical flexibility. Use this 1 command point. Use the stratagem at the start of your movement phase. Select a friendly Grey Knights unit with the combat squad's ability that has 10 models. That unit is immediately split into 2 separate units. Right, so you could play that all of a sudden, you know, turn 3 and your squad of 10, you say, right, that's it, I'm going to split into combat squads if I need to, which is okay. True silver armour. Use this stratagem when a Grey Knight's vehicle suffers a mortal wound. On a d6, roll a d6 for that mortal wound, and each other mortal wound inflicted on this model for the rest of the phase, and a 5+ the mortal wound is ignored. Okay. I mean, you'd need to get to know these because you don't buy them and then have them on standby. You need to refer to this and know them to call upon them just as you need them. So there's a little bit of memorisation here. Only in death does duty end. With these, they have to be quite good. I like the 1 command point to get a reroll is powerful. So these have to be pretty good to cause me to use one of these. Only in death does duty end. Use this stratagem when a Grey Knight's character is slain. Before removing it from the battlefield, that model can immediately shoot as if it were the shooting phase, or fight as if it were the fight phase. Yeah, helpful. You got Voldus, he's all powered up, he gets charged and slain. You play this stratagem and he fights back. What a handy card to have. 1 command point for that one. That's a game changer, that one. Honour the check, you've got to remember it though. You know, you let it slip, you forget about it, you take the model off the table, you move on, and then you just kick yourself after you realise it could have used that. Honour the chapter. Use a stratagem at the end of any fight phase. Select a Grey Knight's infantry unit. You can immediately fight for a second time. Fight for a second time. It costs 3 command points. So that is amazing. That critical point in the battle where you think, I've got to kill this opponent here. It's at the end of any fight phase. So you fight, they fight back, and then you can fight again. Powerful. Honour the chapter. There are some good ones here. Wisdom of the Ancients. Ones that you can just pull out on your opponent and just kill them off. Use the stratagem at the start of any phase. Select a friendly Grey Knight's Dreadnought. Till the end of the phase, you can reroll hit rolls of 1 for friendly Grey Knight's units within 6 of that Dreadnought. 1 command point. Okay. Teleportarium. 1 command point. Use a stratagem during deployment. You could set up a friendly Grey Knight's infantry unit or Grey Knight's Dreadnought in a teleportarium chamber. Instead of placing it on the battlefield at the end of any of your movement phases, this unit can teleport into battle. Set up anywhere on the battlefield that's more than 9 inches away. Alright, so you're granting yourself the ability to deep strike in with a Dreadnought or infantry unit. Handy. Mental focus. Use the stratagem in your psychic phase. 1 Grey Knight psyker can attempt to cast 1 additional psychic power. Helpful if you need it as well. Nice tactical flexibility with these. Which is the name of the first one, actually. Right, so next one is teleportation boost. Use the stratagem in your movement phase. You can make a teleport shunt with an interceptor squad that has already made a teleport shunt earlier in the battle. Okay, handy enough if you need it. Psychic channeling. 1 command point. Use a stratagem when taking a psychic test for Grey Knight Psyker. Roll 3 dice rather than 2 and pick the 2 highest rolls. Helpful. You really want something to go off. Can't wait to see his powers. We'll check those out a bit later. The Aegis is 2 points, 2 command points. Use this stratagem after an enemy psyker has manifested a psychic power in 24 of a Grey Knight's psyker or Grey Knight's vehicle from your army. Your unit can immediately attempt to deny the witch, and when taking the test, roll 3 dice and pick the 2 highest. Pretty helpful. All of a sudden you have to block this power. You can call upon the Aegis. Heed the Prognosticaris. Heed the Prognosticars. 2 command points. Use a stratagem at the start of your turn. Pick a Grey Knight's character and add 1 to his invuln save. Throws until the start of your next turn. Cool. So, you know, Drago with his 3+ invuln, bump him up to 2+. That'd be pretty powerful there. You know, another one when you call out to your opponent, right, I'm playing this one, my invuln's gone up to 2+. It's like, oh no, pretty good one to use. You know, just at the right moment. It's so tactical, these, getting them right. Armory of Titan. Use this stratagem before the battle. This is 1 to 3 command points. Your army can have 1 extra relic, 2 extra relics, 3 extra relics. They must be different and be given to different Grey Knight characters. Okay. Orbital, we'll check out the relics as well a bit later. Orbital Bombardment. This stratagem can be used, I can't wait to see all these for the old factions, you know, for orcs and so on. Can't wait to see what comes out for them. This stratagem can be used once per battle. It's 3 command points. This is the same as the Marines. If you have in a shooting phase, if you have a Grey Knight's Warlord that did not move during the movement phase, instead of shooting your Warlord's weapon, select a visible point on the battlefield, roll a d6. For every enemy unit within d6 of that point, so you put it right in the heart of their unit, subtract 1 from the result of the unit being rolled for as a character. On a 4+ unit being rolled for suffers d3 mortal wounds. Not bad. It's okay. Then a Psychic Onslaught. Use a stratagem, it's 2 command points. Use a stratagem before a Grey Knight's unit shoots. The strength and armor penetration characteristics of any Gatling silencers, heavy silencers, psy cannons, heavy psy cannons that unit fires are improved by 1. For example, AP, a silencer strength 4 AP 0 becomes strength 5 AP -1. Cool, so just the right point you can play that. That's helpful. That is helpful if you take a load of silencers. Right, okay, that's fantastic. That is amazing. Right, for example, got a load of Terminator squads. Giving them all silencers. The turn that they land and do their shooting on the ambush, you play your Psychic Onslaught and you bump them all up from strength 4 to strength 5. They get -1 their AP, and then the damage is coming through at d3. Fantastic. The Dreadnoughts turn up as well with their heavy psy cannons, Gatling silencers, so on. That's all coming through at increased value as well. So fantastic. Brilliant, brilliant stratagem, that one. Yeah, you'd have to have these. See, it can slow the game down because you keep having to come back to these if you don't know them off by heart. The danger is could really slow the game down. But as your games go on, you get to know them, you get your favourites, and you know that point where you're going to play them. But tricky these, you easily forget them. Cybolt Ammunitions, 2 command points. Use this stratagem before a Grey Knight's unit shoots. The strength and armor penetration characteristic of any bolt guns, storm bolters, heavy bolters, hurricane bolters, the unit fires are improved by 1. So for example, heavy bolter becomes strength 5 AP -1, it becomes strength 6 AP -2. So if you go for Cybolt Ammunition, that's a massive improvement. These are amazing. Very, very strong stratagems here for Grey Knights. Finest Hour, 2 command points. Use this stratagem at the start of your turn. Pick a Grey Knight's character, double the range of any aura abilities on the data sheet, such as Rites of Battle, Bane of Evil, to 12 inches for this turn. Not bad. You'd probably be into the habit of keeping within that 6 anyway, but it's there. If you remember, it's there. Could be helpful. Very, very, very powerful ones here, and some great stratagems there for them. Right, so relics. So the way it works here, and it's just pointed out to me in one of the comments on the Space Marine video, Space Marines Codex. If your army is led by Grey Knight's Warlord, then before the battle you may give one of the following relics of Titan to a Grey Knight's character. Named characters such as Lord Kaldor Drago already have 1 or more artifacts and cannot be given any of the following. Right, okay. To Grey Knight's character, yeah, so it's worth taking your HQ, is the named one, he's fixed, but then the other character can receive one of these, 6 of them, for free, and you can use command points to purchase more. Fascinating here. Okay, so Fury of Deimos. A model with a Stormbolter only. The Fury of Deimos replaces the Stormbolter. It's range 30, rapid fire 3, so it's 3 shots at 30 inches. Within 15 you get 6 shots. Strength 5, AP -1, and it's free of charge. Brilliant. Destroyer of Chrysalics. Models with Nemesis Demon Hammer only. Okay. The Destroyer of Chrysalics replaces the Demon Hammer with this weapon. Times 2 strength. AP -3, 4 points of damage. It is -1, but your output's 4. Makes that much more nasty, and it's free of charge. Brilliant. Maybe even worth, if there's other good ones here, maybe worth the extra command point to purchase that. Yep, okay. Banner of Refining Flame. Paladin Ancient or Brotherhood Ancient only. Okay, it's an improvement on the banner here. Banner of Refining Flame is a sacred banner. Model equipped with this banner loses the rights of banishment ability. Instead, when the bearer manifests a smite psychic power, it only has a range of 6, but inflicts D6 mortal wounds instead of D3, whether or not the result of the psychic test was 10. Okay. Loses the rights of banishment. But you keep the rest of the rules. I think. I was just worried then you're going to lose all of your rules. Let's have a look at. Let's just get this right here. So he comes with rights of banishment. There's nothing to do with Sacred Banner. He keeps Sacred Banner, I believe. He just loses rights of banishment. So we just go back to here. Right, okay, so you're going from 12-inch range. The target suffers only 1 mortal wound rather than D3. If it's a demon, it's 3 mortal wounds of D3. So it goes from that to model equipped with this banner loses the rights of banishment, which is what we sell. Instead, it manifests a smite as a range of 6. You do lose the range, but it's D6 mortal wounds instead of D3. That's just quite deadly, actually. Pretty good. You know, you can have a reroll on standby just to make sure that's when that goes off, you get a nasty result there with that D6 mortal wounds. Not bad. Remember, you can take that as your free upgrade. Yep, tempting to go for that as well. Soulglaive. Model with a Nemesis Force Halberd. Let's just see what we got here. Yeah. The Force Halberd. The Soulglaive replaces the Force Halberd and has the following profile. It's +1 strength, AP -3, D3 damage. You can re-roll failed hit and wound rolls with this weapon. Right, this is quite a decent weapon, that one. Soulglaive is pretty good. Next is the Domina Liber Demonica. All enemy demon units must subtract 1 from their leadership, whilst within 6 of the bearer. Terrible. Wouldn't bother with that one. The Cuirass of Sacrifice. Infantry model only. Roll D6 each time the bearer loses a wound. On a 5+, the damage is ignored and the bearer does not lose a wound. Cuirass of Sacrifice. Not bad. No, that's okay. I like a lot of these. Those two aren't bad. The Banner of Refining Flames is quite good. We don't know. I would use, say you got 6 command points. I'd just take the free relic. Probably take that one. Maybe purchase one of those two and then just try to save the others for purchasing some of these amazing stratagems here. Definitely would go for Psychic Onslaught. That one there is fantastic, and there's some other great ones there as well. Getting to fight twice and so on. 3 command points, ouch. God, you'd soon use them all up. But, right, this is the thing. Because you're proposing going for things like chaplains with their rerolls and so on, you're not going to need your reroll command points as much because there's characters and so on there that grant a lot of rerolls anyway, so you can then use the command points for other things. Okay, so that's the relics. So on to psychic powers. Fascinated to see what these can do. I mean, the Grey Knight's armed to the teeth here with psychic powers. Be interesting to see which ones you can choose. Very, very flexible army, I think. Grey Knights tactically, all different. You know, psychic stratagems, very flexible. The ability for the units to teleport and so on, pretty good. Right, so here we go. You can choose. So powerful. Purge Soul is number 1. there used to be 3 of them in the book, now these factions are getting 6, which is great to see. Purge Soul has a warp charge value of 5. If manifested, pick a visible enemy unit within 12 of the psyker. Both controlling players roll a dice and add their respective unit's highest leadership. If the target's total is equal to or greater than the psyker, nothing happens. If it's greater, the target suffers a number of mortal wounds equal to the difference. Okay, so remember you've got Smite, mortal wounds come through, Purge Soul, mortal wounds. You can grind your opponent down quite badly with that. So I think there's sort of half a chance you're going to cause a wound or 2 there. Gate of Infinity. Yeah, they kept a lot of the old names there, which is great. Gate of Infinity. It has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, pick a friendly Grey Knights unit within 12 of the psyker. Remove that unit from the battlefield and immediately set it up. Okay, so you can hop and jump about somewhere else. Yeah, so you've got a... This isn't a straightforward army though. I don't know about collecting this as a beginner, because there's a lot of overlapping Tactica here. You know, you're going to be splitting out your psychic powers around so that, you know, Gate of Infinity, say a character has it and he can start moving off the infantry units by casting Gate of Infinity upon them, and then you just this backwards and forwards of different units having different psychic powers. So, you know, straightforward in models, but there's layers of things to consider here. Hammerhand is next. It's a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, pick a friendly Grey Knights unit from 12 of the psyker. Add 1 to any wound rolls you make for this unit's melee weapons until the start of your next psychic phase. That's helpful. Say you've ploughed into a vehicle, you know, 5s to wound, it becomes 4s. Equivalent to roll. It's after you've rolled, you add 1 to the result. That's the way it works. Right, Sanctuary is next. So warp charge value of 6. Manifested, pick a friendly Grey Knights unit within 12. It gains a 5+ invuln save, so you give that to a vehicle perhaps. If any models in the target already have an invuln save, they get +1. Helpful, they're all helpful. Astral Aim is a warp charge value of 5. If manifested, pick a friendly Grey Knights unit within 18. To the start of the next psychic phase, the unit that you picked is able to target enemy units that are not visible to them, and units they target with shooting attacks do not gain any bonus to their cover saves. Or it's their saving throws for being in cover. It's helpful. Vortex of Doom. There's a warp charge value of 8. It's hard to get this one off. If manifested, a vortex opens above the nearest visible enemy model within 12 of the psyker. That model's units and every other unit within 3 inches of the model suffers D3 mortal wounds. Number of mortal wounds inflicted is increased to D6 if the power is manifested with a psychic test of 12 or more. So Vortex of Doom. You can just take multiple units and try and chuck out loads of vortexes every turn. Interesting. See a bit of abuse of these rules, perhaps. Maybe some people might try and do with their units. Because I mean, for example, what I'm saying is here, this model can attempt to manifest 1 psychic power. It knows Smite and 1 psychic power from the same tick discipline. So previously, you could take Hammerhand and Sanctuary, for example. Now you've got access to all of them. So you could spam. I can see people spamming a certain one. Everyone vortexing. You know, all the units vortexing all the time. Something like that. So that's that then. There's your points values, and then some tactical objectives unique here for the Grey Knights to get them in with the cards that you can buy for them from Games Workshop. Or from Game Figures, you can get your stuff from them, get it 15% off, and then if your order's over £100, it's another 5% off on top of that as well. And if you're in the UK and you make an order, if your order's over £40, you get free postage as well. So all of that just means you can get a hold of your Games Workshop stuff at a discounted rate. But there it is. That's the review for the brand new Grey Knights Codex. It all seems solid enough here. Can't see any trouble. I think the flamer weapons have suffered. The incinerators really have taken a knock. But Grey Knights make up for it, no problem at all. Some great units in there. Absolutely lovely models. Some new sort of HQ additions there. Apothecaries and Chaplains and so on do look really, really nice. And then the new Voldus as well does look really good. So leave your comments and feedback, what your overall impression of Grey Knights, if you think they've got worse, about the same, or if they've improved. Share your Tactica, what works really well for you, if you've had some experience with them, combinations and so on. Leave your comments and feedback there. It's going to be sort of a central video here for Grey Knight Tactica and sharing experiences and tactics and so on this video here. You can add on your own comments in the section below to this video. But there it is. That is Grey Knight's Codex review here for Warhammer 40,000 8th edition. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time.